Insider.
Hey, what's up? This is Ian we're in Fukuoka, Japan right now, and in this video we're going to talk about why the differences in prices amongst TEFL courses. So I'm going to walk around a little bit and talk about this. So first off, I don't have all the answers. I haven't taken every TEFL course out there, so yeah, I don't have all the answers. But I'm going to tell you, based on what I know in my experience teaching abroad. I started teaching in 2004, and I've taught in China, Korea, and Taiwan. And, let's see, 2011 I stopped teaching in China, and ESL Insider I started in 2009, working on it in 2009, and it's been online since 2011. So anyways, I'm just telling you this to give you a little background of who I am and what I'm doing. I've taken two different courses. I took a TEFL course in 2004, before I went to Taiwan. And then in 2016, I took a cheap online course, basically to see what I'd get for $39. At that point, I had already created courses, and I kind of wanted to see what it was like and compare it to my course, or the courses that I've created. So anyways, you could say that. So why the difference in prices? Let me try to remember this quote. I read it by Seth Godin. And he said, "Cheap is the last refuge of the marketer who couldn't figure out how to be better." So maybe, some people say you get what you pay for. And maybe there's some truth to that. So, yes, I think maybe there is some truth to that. Like a cheap course, the cheap course that I took, you're not going to remember. You take a course like that, you're not going to remember much. You're not going to really learn much because of a few different reasons. Number one, you can't see anything happening. You can't see anything. You're basically reading. And most TEFL courses, just because it's not just TEFL. It's like the education industry. You learn a lot of stuff that's not actually useful or practical. So that probably doesn't matter if you take a cheap or expensive course. You're going to get a lot of theory. You're going to probably study grammar. Anyways, these are things that I have either minimized or eliminated in my courses because they're not useful. So why the difference between cheap and expensive courses? So should you assume that a more expensive course is better? I don't know. It's really going to depend on the course. Like I said, I haven't taken all the courses. So I like these flowers. These ones down there. Yeah, like I said, I haven't taken all the courses. So who knows? The average person takes one course, teaches abroad for a year, maybe two, and that's that. That's their TEFL career. Any online course is going to be cheaper, of course. You take an in-class course, and you're going to pay more. So another basic thing to separate the difference between a cheap course and a more expensive course is probably going to be the level of interaction with a human. If you take a cheap course, a really cheap course, there's probably not going to be any interaction, or it's going to be minimized, or it may even seem like you're getting interaction, but it's just automated interaction, emails or messaging or something like that. So, yeah. So it takes work. Like, if you want, like my experience. Okay, when I first started, the courses I've had have evolved over time. At the moment, I basically got 1 or 2 courses running, but in the past I had maybe over time I've had as many as probably 7 or 8 total courses. In the beginning they were cheaper because, well, what do they do? Like, you have like a 60-hour course, 120-hour course. This is what most people do. And so basically, if you want more on the cheap end, you're going to get like a lower hour course. But again, did I make a video about this? I've written about this on my blog extensively. Online, these hours, they don't mean anything. There's no such thing as hours. These are asynchronous courses, which means you can work on them when you want. So that means nothing online. If you take an in-class course, then the hours, it should be real. Like, you should be really in a class. Like a CELTA course, the in-class, the original CELTA course, should be like that. So you're going to pay more for a course like that. So, and again, like what I was saying about, because human interaction is part of it. So an online course that doesn't contain any human interaction, it's automated. It's going to be like the one I took, the cheap one I took on Groupon, like what? They had one lesson plan assignment at the end. And then you had to wait, like after you completed it, you had to wait 10 days and stuff. And, there's a lot of like little, like, I don't know. The one course I took is a little bit like that. Like, they want you to like pay. You want any, they made me wait 10 days before I get like a grade on my assignment. And the comment that they sent me back was just like, I don't think anybody really looked at it. I think it was just an automated comment. Because they didn't say anything about anything that I wrote in the lesson plan, right? So I think it's just kind of like, looks. A lot of stuff is out there is about looks, like making it look a certain way. But in actuality, it's another way. So cheap or expensive, what's the difference? There's like a really expensive course out there. Well, it has a name, University of Toronto's course. I think it's like either $1,000 or $1,200. So what are you paying for with a course like that? I watched some videos of people who took that course and reviewed it, and then I kind of like collected some reviews around the web and put them on my own site. I've done that with a few different courses, actually. You're paying for the name. You're paying for the name, for that name, University of Toronto, on a certificate. It didn't sound like, I don't know for sure because I haven't taken the course, but from the other people who reviewed the course, it didn't sound like there was a lot of interaction with somebody. I don't know. You're basically paying because they're always saying like University of Toronto this, University of Toronto that. But the course isn't actually run by the University of Toronto. I think what they did is University of Toronto created the course. I'm not sure about this, just it's run by a recruiter. Teach Away is a recruiter. So I think they somehow, University of Toronto created the course, and then the course is run by a recruiter, Teach Away. So like I said, You're paying for the name on the certificate. Does that name matter? Is that name going to make a difference? In my experience, no. It's not going to make a difference at all. Like, lots of brands out there are gonna say that they're the most prestigious, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But is that brand name gonna make, or like some brands will lie and say employers want our certificate or something like that. And based on my experience teaching in Asia, that's just a bunch of BS. Doesn't matter. Most of the time, it's not going to matter at all. Like, certificates are like secondary to experience, secondary to something like a teaching license. So it's just like a little something you can put on your resume. So then you got to ask, like, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to get, put something on your resume, a piece of paper, or are you doing it to learn? So if you're doing it to learn, then I don't know. You got to do your research. Find out how much like interaction is in the course. Just try to research the course. Find out as much as you can. So, like generally speaking, you're probably gonna get what you pay for. Although, I'm sure there's probably some decent courses out there that are cheap, and then some not so decent courses out there that are expensive. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't expect the brand to make any difference whatsoever on what kind of job you get. Although some courses apparently say that some courses may have some sort of job placement service or something. But in my experience, the first TEFL course I took, it was they said that, but they had very few jobs where I wanted to teach. And you can always find more jobs on your own if you just look. It's a spoon. So, why is there such a difference between prices? I think that's my answer. I don't think I have anything else left to say on that. Do your research. And this is Ian in Fukuoka, Japan. Have a good one.